else that is most definitely on top of the world, and he goes by the name of Stelios. Stelios, talk to me, man. How are you feeling right now?
Your shirt says it all, Stel. Time for change, and here it is.
Guys. Oh, what a night. Supporting Tottenham on a Monday night. Levy's gone because he's beep beep shy. Oh, what a feeling, what a night. They said protesting doesn't work. They said you're wasting your time. They said, what are you doing? You don't get it. I'm sorry. It does work. Fans have power. He's gone. I'm delighted. We can now start being a big football club, guys. We can start. In fact, ask me a question, right? I need you to ask me the question. What do I rate the transfer window out of 10 2 days ago?
Go on.
Just answer your own questions, Stel. Go on.
I give it a 7 out of 10. Now ask me today what I rate it as.
What do you rate it, Stel?
10 out of 10! It's a 10!
It's got to be more than that. It's got to be more than that. What do you think this actually means for Tottenham, though? Because Enoch is still there. Charrington's been put in the spot now. What does this actually mean for Tottenham Hotspur now, moving forward?
It means we can start doing things like a big club, right? Transfers. Look at this window. Paulinho, Premier League proven. Kudus, Premier League proven. Xavi Simons, one of the most exciting attacking midfielders in Europe. Not Odegaard, Tell, Grays, all these generational hit or miss. This is a proper, young, up-and-coming, established talent. Kouani plays for Juventus, played for Paris Saint-Germain, plays for France. These are players that have got something about them. Not the usual dross mishmash we're used to. We've never seen a window where we've just signed just quality. All right, we need more. But that tells you things are already different. So for me, we're starting to behave like a top 6 club. We're beginning to behave like a proper football club. And that's all we've ever said. We've never criticised the stadium. We've never criticised the increased revenues. We've never criticised the academy training centre, the new first team facilities. We've never criticised all these new sponsorship deals. What we've said is put it into the team. Start signing some talent. Behave like a big club. This is the beginning of it. This is the beginning of Tottenham behaving like a proper big football club. And you know what? Long may it continue.
Do you think, Stel, Levy stepping down is potentially a precursor to Enoch selling up?
I hope so, because it's not all on Levy. Joe Lewis is just as culpable. He just gets to hide in the Bahamas on his yacht. Levy's kind of the face of it all, taking all the hits and all the, I guess, frustrations, anger and hate from the fans. But yeah, hopefully it is the beginning of a new ownership. But if the current ownership can make it work with a new structure, I mean, I'm not against that. But they've got to prove it now. They've got to prove this. They've got to keep backing Frank. Can't just be one really good window. Bring in another top player in January. Bring in another 4 next summer. Keep the manager. Build. Actually take the club in a direction where it's not, it's not working, panic, sack the manager, new project, new rebuild. They've got to prove it now. But the signs, you could say, are there.
So
see where it goes, but
what, as a big advocate for, I see the shirt. Is that a Change for Spurs t-shirt, or is that what t-shirt is that? Is that a Change for Tottenham t-shirt, or is that Tottenham away?
No, JP ripped off Change for Tottenham and put a Tottenham away badge on it.
I'm sorry I asked. So no, you've obviously been a big advocate for Change for Spurs and organising protest. Where does this happening? Where does that leave all of that side to what you've been advocating for? Is that now all done with? Is it a kind of wait and see job, or is it a case of you're still going to be very vigilant, and if you don't like what you're seeing, it's back to processing Enoch instead of Levy kind of thing?
No, it's wait and see, but give them a chance. So it's always been Levy out and ENIC out, but we've often just said Levy out because he's the chairman. He's the one that makes comments like we want to win the Champions League, we want to win the Premier League, and all the things that we've ever jumped on his back for. Joe Lewis, like I've said, he hides. He just sits in the Bahamas and Levy takes the brunt of it. So it's still ENIC out and Levy out. But if a new chairman now steps in and there's a new corporate structure, a new boardroom structure, obviously Donna Cullen's gone, Vinay's in, Charrington's in. We've got to give them a chance to show that they get it. That they've come in, not just for, shits and giggles and a new image that we all get sucked in by. We've got to see it, but I think we can all see in the transfer window, there's definitely a clear change of direction in approach. And the fact that Thomas Frank has omitted Matthias Tell from the squad for the Champions League, that's £40 million worth of so-called generational amazing talent who I've never wanted in this club. I never thought Matthias Tell was a good idea. The manager said, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. He shouldn't be at this club. Otherwise, he would be in that Champions League squad. So that says to me, it's the kind of meddling behind the scenes club signings that Matthias Tell looks like. That's coming to an end now. No more. We're not doing this anymore. So Levy's out, transfer policy change, new era. We give it a chance, and we will now see if Joe Lewis has been advised you need a change of chairman. You need a fresher set of eyes and a new direction for Tottenham Hotspur. You can't keep wasting millions of pounds on players that don't ever make it at this club, that don't improve the football club, and fans call it generational, and we cling on to hope that maybe they come good. And start signing players that are genuinely going to take us forward. Again, how many years have we been waiting for a stadium naming rights still, sponsorship for the stadium? It's been 5-6 years. Let's bring in some new people and see if they can get the business done, because it's clearly not work. It's not worked with Levy.
Yeah.
So, I think it is. I think it is going now in the right direction. But you're right. We've got to be vigilant. We've got to wait and see. It can't just be all these wonderful things happening and that's it. We're done. We've arrived. They've got to keep it going now. So, I guess we can answer your question in maybe 3 years' time. They're going to need time to prove it. It's not going to happen in 1 year. They're going to need some time.
Let me ask you this, Stel. Obviously, 24 years since 2001 when he took over. Now it's all said and done. Now he's gone. I can't believe I'm saying it. Now he's gone. How do you look back at his time at Tottenham, from the club he took over to now what we are?
Missed opportunities, pain, anger, banter. I don't have positive energy from him, guys. I'm sorry, I don't. That's why I protested. I think he's done well in building a new stadium, building a new trading facility, increasing the revenues. But the reality is, guys, he's going to benefit from it. He gets record salaries as director of Tottenham Hotspur and chairman of Tottenham Hotspur. He's the most highest paid chairman. My salary hasn't improved because of him. I'm not making more money because of him. Yeah, the club's worth more money. Great. When he sells, he's going to be a billionaire. We're not going to be billionaires. We're paying the highest prices in English football. We're paying £165 for a replica Tottenham Hotspur jersey. I haven't benefited from him being here. He has benefited from being here. So I don't have lots of positive energy and good things to say. The one thing I will compliment him on, and I think it's fully deserved, the current structure and infrastructure of the club is in a great position for serious football people to take over. For serious football to say, do you know what? This isn't Man United. I'm going to buy shares in them, and I've got to find £3 billion to build a new Old Trafford, and I've also got to balance the books, and I've got to lay off all the catering staff because we can't balance the books. We're not in that situation. So Jim Ratcliffe is in a difficult situation, having taken some equity in the club. At least I would give Daniel Levy credit that he set up the club with Joe Lewis and ENIC to now pass it on to serious people. But let's have it right, guys. He's made an absolute killing on us doing it. And what have we had in return? A Carabao Cup and the Europa Cup last season. Other than that, what have we really had? It's been painful, man. We've been a banter club. Spursy, bottle jobs. That's what we're known for. So I don't have great memories of Levy or ENIC, but I will give them compliments for building an infrastructure that a serious consortium or a serious ownership can one day take over, and they don't have to do all the hard work of building that. It's there. All they've got to do is focus on building a football team.
Still, at the beginning of the call, you said you were talking about protests. You know, people say protests don't work. Look what's happened. So, what role do you really believe the fans played in what's happened today?
Well, the first sign was when Nuno lost that classic game. What was it called? El Sacico.
Yeah.
3-0 to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that's when the first leave out chants in the stadium started. And I believe that was the game, or there was a game further down the road.
No, that was the game. What, he sacked Nuno straight after? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but that was the beginning of the leave out chants, and that famous clip of his other half kind of stroking his hand, saying, "It'll be all right, Daniel. Things will be okay." It got to him. The fans got to him, and then he kind of dismissed as, you know, the protests don't work, and, you know, fans that defended Levy and the media who defended him made out the protests don't work. But yet, when he did that interview with Gary Neville a couple of months ago, he was asked, you know, the protests, the fans that don't want you here, that want you out. He said, "Of course it bothers me. Of course it gets to me." We got to him, and I think he felt that it was becoming untenable, and I think that the board and the owners must have looked at it and said, "Look, Daniel, this can't keep going on. We can't have every single year Levy out, ENIC out, fans protesting." Last year was the big one, though, because last year we got the complete attention of all the media. All the mainstream media latched onto that massive protest that we had. And all the podcasters were talking about it. Whereas before, it was only Tottenham away. Brian Daigle and Stell that were talking about Levy out and ENIC out. And then you guys obviously went to the protests when we tried to join the European Super League.
Yeah.
You guys were there. And then really the only YouTube channels that were prepared to talk about it were you, Tottenham on tour and Tottenham away. Nobody wanted to touch it. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Last year, though, every YouTube channel was talking about it. Every podcast was talking about it. All the media channels were talking about it. Suddenly, rival fans were saying, "Oh, flipping hell, that's a lot of you that went to that protest.
Yeah.
What's going on down at Tottenham?" I think that was the beginning of the end for Daniel, because the position now became untenable. And this was always my argument. You can't force an ownership out, but you can make their position untenable. And finally, we made their position untenable. And there must have been discussions at a higher level. There must have been discussions where they said, "Look, we need to change this up. It can't continue like this." And this was always my argument with all fans. We can force change. Don't listen to fans that dismiss the power of fans. Fans have the power because we are the customer. We are the customer. Never forget that. The customer doesn't want to know anymore. The customer's going to kick up a stink. At some point, something has to give. So,
Still, you know, you've been very vocal in the fact that you'll never put money into the club apart from tickets and stuff like that. Will you go into the club shop now? Will you buy a shirt?
do you know what? I kind of did already. I'm not going to lie to you.
What, in the last couple of hours? In the last hour?
One second. So, basically, when you're a season ticket holder, you get a 20%, a £20 voucher. And I thought, what's the minimum I could spend so I can use my 20 quid? So I found a way to only spend a £5, but it was to annoy all the fans that I do YouTube with, who just hate Ange Postecoglou. So I had to buy this, guys. I had to.
Okay.
So I've got.
But would you actually go and spend like actual money in the club shop now?
That's a great question. I never even thought about it, to be honest with you. I want to see how it goes with this new structure. I'm happy because I really do think this is the beginning of proper change and Tottenham becoming a proper football club now. I do think this is the beginning, and the transfers for me is the big one. I always said transfers will be the big indicator. Are we You know when Spurs are different, when the type of players we bring into our club are not the typical pattern of let's sign one good player, 3 random kids that we've never heard of, and a bunch of mishmash players and hope it all gels. We've signed 4 very good players. We genuinely have signed 4 very good players. So that is the indicator that something at Spurs is changing. The fact that we haven't put Mateus Tell, like I said earlier, into the Champions League squad, that tells you something is changing. We're not just going to put players into the squad because we've spent money on them. No, that has to stop. These are the things that have hurt us in the past. So I do think things are changing at Spurs. I do think now the club is going to start focusing more on football. And I do believe that over time, we're going to see the rewards of a new set of eyes and a new direction for the football club. The fruits of that will come. But you're right, guys. Look, Joe Lewis is still the owner. He can still pull the plug on anything at any minute. He's the majority shareholder. But maybe he's come to his senses. And maybe he is now looking to pass it down to family or sell it on to a new ownership. But I do think this is the beginning of something good for us. And fingers crossed I'm right on this, because if not, then yeah, we're going to be back to protesting until we get the actual change that we really, really want, which is we want Tottenham to justify building that £1 billion stadium, to justify us paying the highest ticket prices in English football, and to justify the revenues that we earn. You've got to show it on the football pitch. We've got to show it as ambition, which is determined by, 1, the calibre of players we sign. 2, when you say new project, stick with the project. Stop sabotaging it or pulling the plug on it after 2 years. And keep backing the manager. Because then, guys, we can say, you know what? This isn't the board. It's not Enoch. It's not the chairman. It's not the transfer committee. This is on the manager now. I've never, ever, ever, as a Spurs fan, been able to genuinely say this is 100% on the manager. I've never been able to say that. I hope now we start behaving in a way where I can say, right, the club have done everything they can. This is on the manager. Because then I know we're ambitious and we're behaving like what a big club should behave like.
Stel, I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening, because I know you're going to be popping a bottle tonight and celebrating. But thank you for coming on today, my friend.
Oh, what a night. Look after yourselves.
Big up,
Nice
Stel.
to see you, Stel.